Hi, Mrs. Spencer.
Mr. Briggs, I've been here nearly 2 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody will be with you right away.
Who will?
Well, either Michelle or Jimmy or I.
And where's Dr. Simmons?
Well, I'm afraid he won't be able to get in this afternoon.
You say Doc Simmons won't be in today?
No, I'm afraid not. Wait, just a minute. Let me put these things down.
Oh, please wait.
Mr. Brandon, the doctor particularly wanted to see you this afternoon.
I'm here. Where's he?
Well, he's not feeling well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cal. My uncle's really a very nice man. I just know that he's in great pain.
I know. I wish you'd let us try to help him. Please.
Listen, I'm sure we can help you with most of your problems, and the ones that we can't, we can always consult with a doctor by phone.
Mrs. Spencer, please. I was just discussing your case with the doctor a few minutes ago.
Thank you. But I'll come back some other time when the doctor's here.
Well, the doctor may not be back for quite some time.
I respect what you're doing, Mr. Briggs. Really. But this is my first baby, and I waited a long time for it. Please understand, I want everything to be just right. I really need a doctor.
Okay. We'll try to have a doctor for you.
Thank you.
I guess they weren't really sick.
They don't have any confidence in us.
How come? Kill some of them off?
No, not yet.
Well, they're kind of set in their ways. They'd sooner see an old doctor than young'uns like you.
Yeah, well, you see, we're not doctors.
Yeah?
Nope, we only help the doctor. See, I was a Navy nurse, and Cal was a paramedic in Vietnam.
In combat?
Most of the time, yes.
Well, son, if you're good enough for the GIs on the battlefield, you're good enough for me.
Hey. Well, the entire health center and its staff is at your disposal. Did you fill out a card?
No. It's swole.
What happened?
Fishhook. Pulled it out a couple of days ago. Figured it'd heal.
Step in the back, please.
Mrs. Miller, would you bring him back Saturday? I'd like to change that dressing.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Talbot.
You're very welcome.
Take it back. Come on.
Bye-bye.
Go.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Cal say how Dr. Simmons was?
No, Jimmy didn't have a chance to.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Mike.
Guess they decided not to stay, huh?
Yeah, well, I guess you might put it that way.
Hey, let me get this for you, Doc. Hey, Glenn, could we get one thing straight, please?
I know, you don't want me to call you Doc.
Just Jimmy, okay?
Sure. Where do these go, right?
Oh, you ought to know by now. Come on.
Come in.
Doc?
What's the news?
They all walked out.
Everybody? Mrs. Spencer? Mr. Brandon?
Yeah. Well, we managed to hold on to one patient, a transient fisherman with a finger infection, but the rest of the people wanted to see you, not us.
Such fools.
Doc, Cal told me he gave you a paracentesis this afternoon.
Yes, he did it better than I ever could. With a little luck, he'll make a passable doctor.
Look, let's don't get started on that. We came by here to see what we're going to do about you.
You see what I mean? He's even got the bedside manner. Which is more than I can say about most of the doctors nowadays. Most of them won't even come inside your house unless they're invited to a party.
Doc, we want you to put yourself into a hospital and let a hepatologist examine you.
One look at my eyes and skin, and I would get an instantaneous diagnosis of creeping jaundice, which is one thing I know I have not got.
All right, then, what do you think it is?
Well, ask Cal.
Well, it could be a tumor, sir.
I keep telling him that his natural field is diagnosis, diagnostician. You should have seen the way that he examined me today with his hands and his ears and his eyes and his mind. He literally circled me, palpating, osculating, until I thought Hippocrates himself had come back to check me out. But if only I could convince him to go back and finish medical school. Cal, I mean, not Hippocrates. Of course, if I did manage to get him to go back to his studies, what would we do around here without him?
Talk. You know, we're gonna have to take him to a hospital by force, otherwise he'll just keep talking.
Ah, Cal, supposing I do go somewhere and put my old bones down on a hospital bed. What will happen? You know that they will padlock the doors of the health center immediately. And then who is going to take care of the people around here?
Hey, who's gonna take care of him if you die, Doc?
Oh, somebody will come along and hang out a GP shingle. I did.
Doc, not these days. You're not gonna find any doctors who'll take your place. Well, there's no country club here. There's no Dow Jones ticker tape here. There's no status in being a doctor in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I'm not leaving. Now, you tell Jimmy to get Frank Farragut's town council together first thing in the morning. If people around here want me to treat them, they've got to learn to lean on you and Michelle and Jimmy. They've got to start accepting you and depending on you, just as I do. Now, you hear that, Cal?
Yes, sir. Good night, Doc.
Good night. Good night, Michelle.
Good night.
Esophageal bleeding. Any episodic stupor.
Do I appear lethargic?
You're too mean to admit it.
Now, look, son, everything is under control. I am not about to commit suicide, I promise. Now, good night.
I think I'll stay, Doc.
Who ordered a nurse?
We did.
He has got the disposition of a dehydrated camel.
What can I get you, Doc?
Strength.
You're in charge of implementing the emergency evacuation plan. It's laid out 3 ways: blue alert, amber alert, and red. Let's start with the blue. When the... Mr. Talbot, I thought I made it perfectly clear over the telephone this morning that we could not meet with you.
Well, I'm sorry, but Dr. Simmons insisted we come over.
If he feels that strong about it, why didn't he come himself?
He's sick. He's very sick.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, what he was going to say to the council, he asked us to say in his place.
Well, we're all here. Go ahead. But make it fast. We've got a rough situation on our hands here. Could be worse than the flood of '64.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, but this is important, too. Well, I guess you're all familiar with Dr. Simmons' theories about community medicine. That is, preventative medicine. Keeping people healthy by getting out and working with them rather than, well, sitting around and waiting for them to report in sick. Well, educating them about what to look for, how to stay.
Mr. Talbot.
You know how overworked he is. 7 days a week, 8 years, no vacations.
I wish you would please tell us what's on your mind. Now, all of us here grew up with Doc Simmons. If we were going to raise a memorial to anyone, we'd raise one to him. Spare us, please. Tell us, what does he want? I promise you a fast yes or no.
Well, it has more to do with attitude. I mean, it's not just an accident that we're here. When I got back from Vietnam, I wrote a lot of letters to doctors in a lot of out-of-the-way places, telling them that I would volunteer to help out. Well, you should have seen some of the letters I got back. All of them said the same thing. How fast can you get here? Of all the letters, the response that sounded the most needful was for Dr. Simmons in this town.
Doc told you to tell us that?
Jimmy. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you people want medical care or not? The answer is, of course you do. And no one is immune to the fear of illness or death. Well, the decision's yours.
What decision?
Start depending on us more. Stop resisting our help simply because we're not MDs. Not for our sakes, but for yours.
You are not a doctor, young man.
I don't pretend to be. But we do have certain special skills. All we're asking is that you accept them, use them. Use us. Now, we can help a busy doctor cover a lot more ground than he can by himself. We're asking you to give us a